I would now ask that Dauntless Delta 6, please join me. Educated at Fordham University, MBA from Ivy League Columbia University, distinguished business leader, president and chief executive officer of a multinational agency, a published author, a combat wounded veteran of the United States Army that has been recognized with the Combat Infantryman's Badge, Silver Star, Bronze Star with V, and 3 Oak Leaf Clusters, Purple Heart, and other awards indicating service to the nation. Big Red 1 combat patch on his right shoulder, a Picardy black line patch over his heart. Who is this man? I will identify him by connecting 2 periods in 28th Infantry history. The first is chronicled in a book published in 2009 entitled The Remains of Company D by James Carl Nelson. It's a powerful and timeless portrayal of men at war. The author follows the men of Company D, 28th Infantry Regiment, from enlistment to combat, to the effort to recover the remains, focusing on 3 major battles: the Battle of Cantigny, Soissons, and the Meuse-Argonne, and the effect these horrific World War I battles had on the men of Delta Company 28th Infantry Regiment. There was but few of them remaining, hence the title of the book. The second period is Vietnam. In October 17 October 1967 was one of the darkest days in the history of the 28th Infantry Regiment in Vietnam. The Battle of Anton claimed the lives of 56 Black Line soldiers, and an additional 75 were wounded. There were but a handful of men left standing when a captain of infantry was handed the company guidon of Company D on the morning of 18 October 1967. He was given the most difficult task an infantry officer can be assigned. Take what remains of Company D, put it back together, train it, and get it back in the fight. This was the same situation that challenged the commander of Company D in 1918, following those devastating losses. The survivors were angry, demoralized, and depressed, having witnessed their battle buddies killed and maimed. But under this infantry officer's leadership, Company D was reconstituted, trained, and given the confidence to go back into battle. Company D's fearless commander and leader was himself later severely wounded on a Black Line battlefield. Who is this distinguished leader of men? Captain Gerard Grosso. Captain Grosso's battalion commander at the time he was evacuated from Company D was Colonel Vern Coffey. And I would ask Colonel Coffey to come back to present this award to his former company commander. In recognition of the outstanding contributions to regimental continuity, tradition, and esprit de corps, by order of the Secretary of the Army, Captain Gerard S. Grosso is granted and assigned the distinction of Distinguished Member of the 28th Infantry Regiment.
what I know about that hasn't been said. When I took over Dallas in '68, it was the top battalion in the division. And my job was to try to be sure to keep it that way. It was commanded by Infantry, who no longer here, but who received the DSC while he was battalion commander. We spent a lot of time in the jungle, about 10 days, 15 days at a time. Back into Like A for 3 days. First day was care and cleaning. Second day was take company commanders out to see the new area we were going to go into. Third day, air mobile. While we were in the jungle, I only spent 2 hours a night sleeping from 10 o'clock to 12 o'clock. And then the rest of the time I walked around. A couple of the young men who were in my battalion were arc about me. They called me the Black Moses. The reason being was that, having been a ranger instructor in Florida, I learned how to protect my face myself by carrying a big staff. It was also very easy to help you decide how deep the water was when you're in the swamp. So at nighttime I moved around and I watched and checked around to be sure everybody was awake and not asleep. What I want to tell you about Jerry is that whenever I had an opportunity when people were wounded, I always tried to go back and say thank you. We appreciate what you did. Because as you know, as an officer, we're only as good as the people that fight for us and fight with us. When I went back to see Jerry, he said to me, "I'm sorry I left you in a lurch." It was the first time anybody had ever said that. And it meant a great deal to me that here was a fighting officer in my unit who was leaving, who felt badly about leaving us and leaving us to fight with the kind of fight that we were doing at that particular time. I think a great deal of Gerard. It's good to see you. I wish you could. Congratulations.
Thank you.